Everyone, Zeddy here again today with our final March of the Lich King card review. The last of the Warlock cards have been revealed, including 2 legendaries. One's cheap, one's expensive. They both look pretty cool. And while DEATHRATTLE Warlock might be coming back, Q-Block and Wild, we'll take a look. As well as I want to remind you guys, we do have a giveaway going on for 3 mega bundles, 2 regular pre-orders out of my pocket. To enter, all you have to do is like and comment on the video in the description below, the one with the stupid face there. Subscribe to the channel. If we hit 61,000 subs, I'll add another mega bundle. I'll have details on when the giveaway will be announced, finalized, probably tomorrow. It'll be soon, so you don't have that much more time to enter. So hit that sub button, make me go broke. So there's 5 Warlock cards to go over. And starting off, we have Twisted Tether, not quite Nether, Tether. It is a 4 mana shadow spell, destroy a minion, so it's assassinate, right? Give it stats to a random undead in your hand. There used to be a card from Mean Streets of Gadgetzin. I've already made the tweet of like Blast Crystal Potion, I believe it was called. It would destroy a minion and a mana crystal. And that's all play for a little bit in like Reno Locks back in the day. And this is a little bit better than that. You're destroying a minion, plus if you're running any undeads, you gain its stats. It's like the holy spell that Paladin runs that steals the stats and all that. Doesn't destroy the minion, leaves a 1/1, but still pretty darn good. I don't know what this goes into, but it's solid removal. You can double up on it with Tamsman. You could go for some crazy OTK shenanigans with like 0 mana Molten Giants and kill your own stuff and like buff up. Wait, is there an undead charger? It's only undead, so I don't know about that. I'm gonna give this card a 3 out of 5 in standard, 2 out of 5 in wild. There's just better removal options, but again, it might slot into certain decks, especially if Renethal doesn't get nerfed. It's still meta, could be a good card in a 40 card deck. But yeah, it's basically, I feel like, you know, you're getting the buff in the undead, and there are some undeads to hit. We'll take a look in a second. I'm just not sold on it being like really super strong, but definitely I could see it seeing a little bit of play. Next, we have the Shallow Grave, a 2 mana epic spell. Trigger a friendly minion's death rattle, then destroy it. So this is like kind of like a cube almost, except, well, you don't get 2 copies of it and you automatically trigger it. It's like Play Dead. Play Dead was a 1 mana hunter spell, would just trigger a death rattle. This does that, but also destroys it. So it's really good on like eggs, right? Like you get a Nerubian egg out, you trigger it, so you get a 4/4 out of it, and then you get another 4/4 out of it because it'll die. So that's pretty good. You really want this on death rattles that are, you know, low statted, high death rattle style stuff. You can play it in like, I guess, a Mine Rogue or an Owl, but, or not Rogue. I got Rogue on the mind, Mine Warlock or Owl Warlock, but at the end of the day, those aren't really, that's not really what you're trying to do. I feel like this is more for those, yeah, those bigger death rattle things that are harder to activate quickly. I don't know if there's really just not too many great examples of how this will be strong in standard at the moment, but it's got potential. These cards historically have seen play, and it's pretty flexible. So again, I'm gonna give it a 3. It's a really solid death rattle card. I don't know what it slots into right away, but yeah, 3 out of 5 in standard. And in wild, there are so many good death rattles. Oh, we do have that new 1 mana. This actually curves into that new, there's that new 1 mana egg. It's like a 3/3 and a 0. Like there's that brand new egg. It's a neutral. They'll be really good with that too. So there's options. And Nerubian egg, I believe, is in core. So I do think it's got a good shot. I just feel like you're still gonna play imps. And in wild, where you have even more eggs, more death rattles, more synergies, and we've seen the strategy work before. We've seen it where you would like kill off a friendly minion, get lackeys in your hand. That was a valid play. Maybe Q-Block. Maybe Q-Block can come back. It's pretty slow, but it's such a beloved archetype. It'd be really cool. I'm gonna give it an optimistic 3 in wild. I feel like there's some synergies there that can work, and I don't know, maybe is it a way to activate your Mechathune? Okay, not really, but you know, one can dream. We have the Infantry Reanimator. This is a 6 mana 4/4 battle cry. Resurrect a friendly undead, give it reborn. So you want to bring back something pretty big, probably a death rattle. Comes back with reborn. It is a random, so you got to run a very selective undead pool. Probably not that good. This reminds me of, you know, older Hearthstone cards that would do this. We had like that Onyx Bishop, I believe, for Priest. I don't know if it was called that. It was a 3/4. Just bring back any minion, resurrect it. It's better than that, obviously. It's selected, it gives reborn, all of that. I'm just not sold on this really factoring in. Even if you're playing like a DEATHRATTLE Warlock deck, it's probably gonna be more on the lower end of the curve, and this is just gonna be slow, and again, can just hit junk. You really have to limit what undeads you can play, what you want to bring back with Reborn. So I'm gonna give this a 2 out of 5 in Standard and Wild. Again, I don't think it's a terrible card, I just don't think it's gonna be one of your best options out there. And last, we have 2 legendaries, and we'll start off with the big one, like literally the big one. Darkhan Drathir, an 8 mana 6/6 undead minion. It has lifesteal, and at the end of your turn, deal 6 damage to the enemy hero. This is like a fireball that goes face every turn as long as it lives, and it heals you, right? That's got lifesteal. You can't really amplify that damage. However, as you saw with the earlier removal spell, you can hand buff this. You can make this pretty big, harder to remove as it stands. An 8 mana 6/6, probably gonna die. You're probably just gonna get a 6/6 lifesteal. That's not that good, but you could run this as your only undead and bring it back with Reborn. It's all right, still not great. I see this as a card that's going to get like randomly summoned as an undead, discovered as an undead. I'm not sold on this being a card you're running unless I'm really missing something. It just, for this amount of stats, the effect really wants it to stick around. You kind of need more than just one fireball to the face. Like 8 mana fireball in today's Hearthstone, I just feel like it's not quite there. You could play it in Wild if you have a discounted Drakari Enchanter and double up. I'm sure Mark will have an OTK with Drakari Enchanter and all of that. But overall, I'm going to give this a 2 out of 5 in Standard, a 2 out of 5 in Wild. It's not horrendous, it's not terrible, but at the end of the day, I just feel like it's gonna be hard to stick around. It's gonna be hard to selectively bring back depending on your build. You have to really build specifically around undeads to bring it back. I'm just not entirely sold, but I'm pretty sold on the last legendary. Devourer of Souls, a 1 mana 1/3 undead, premium statted, 1-drop legendary. I haven't seen a lot of these. We've seen like the Priest Prime, we've seen Finley, the 1 mana 1/3. There's some out there, but this one has, after a friendly minion dies, you gain its death rattle. That's pretty damn good. You're playing any death rattle deck and you trade in some stuff, get that death rattle, use that spell, gain its death rattle, and then you have a really high silence target or steal target. Please don't steal it, don't silence it, right? But overall, that's really powerful in any death rattle deck, right? Well, typically one that goes a bit wider. You really want to gain a couple death rattles, get some 4/4 like Nerubians out of it, some 3/3s, get some egg hatchers out of it, or maybe just get more mines, get more owls. I don't know. But this card's really strong. I mean, it's a 1 mana 1/3. You can just play it on curve to fight for board. That's fine. This is a really solid card in a deck that doesn't really exist right now, but regardless, I'm giving this a 4 out of 5 in Standard and Wild. It's just way too good of stats, way too good of an effect, and it's got the Undead Tribe. There's a lot of good stuff going on with this card. No idea what this will spawn, but I feel like this card will see play at some point. Maybe not right away, but with an effect like this, the stat line like this, I don't see how this doesn't factor in at some point. So, fast forward to when it doesn't factor in at some point. So that's all the cards from March of the Lich King. We're gonna have like tier lists, best, worst cards. We're gonna have theory crafting coming up. We have so much stuff, but I do want to thank all of you. It's been crazy getting up at all times of the hour or the day or whatever to make these reviews, but you guys tune in to every single one, and I just want to thank you all. It makes it all super worth it, and I can't wait for the next review season. These are always so fun. But yeah, we'll have lots of content coming up. We'll see when the new rewards track comes out. We'll review that. I'm hoping they boost it as, they added the new clusters. Lots to talk about. There's gonna be so much going on, so stay tuned. And if you like the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day. And stay salty, my friends.